So on Windows, if we scroll down, here's the instructions. It says before you start using SASS, you will need to install Ruby. The fastest way to get Ruby on your computer is to use the Ruby installer. So let's click on that link and let's just go ahead and download. It gives us a bunch of options, but it says that if you don't know what version to install and you're just getting started with Ruby, use 2.1.x. So let's go that route. We'll install Ruby 2.1.5. Once we've downloaded it, we can run it. Click Run if the dialog opens up. Click OK after selecting your language. Accept the license and click Next. I'm going to go ahead and check all of these boxes, and then I'll click Install, and then Finish. And now to check if we actually have it installed, go ahead and open up the command line. If you have the command line open already, close it first before you open it in order to refresh. And you can do a search here for CMD, or just click Command Prompt if it's available. And to test, we're going to type in gem, since that's the program that we're going to be using to install SASS. If you get some details here about examples on how to use it and such, it means we have it installed and you're good to go. So now we just need to install SASS. So we'll go back to the SASS installation page. And now that we have Ruby installed, we should be able to go ahead and start with the Install SASS section. So let's just type in gem install SASS. One of the things that can get frustrating about using Ruby or Node or any other command line tool is that sometimes you can run into issues that don't have a clear solution, especially if you're not familiar with the command line. And so this can deter you from actually using these tools that are actually pretty important and sometimes critical for solving front-end development problems. So we just ran into one. As we tried to install SASS on our Windows machine, we got this could not find a valid gem SASS, and here's why. Unable to download data from https rubygems.org. So we're going to use this as an example of how to solve these problems as they come up. The best place to start is to do a search for the error. So let's begin with the unable to download data from rubygems.org. So I've done a search here in Google, and let's head to the first result here. So this looks like a forum of some kind. Someone posted an issue, and then if we scroll down, we can see somebody corroborating that issue, and then a possible solution right here. And if we look at the specific text, we'll see something very similar on our command prompt. So let's click on this and see if it's a working solution. So up here at the top, we see that error again. And if we scroll down, it gives us a little bit of background. It basically says that there's an issue with the SSL certificate and that we need to do some updating in order to work with the latest version of the SSL certificate. So if we continue to scroll down, we'll follow the instructions here under installing using update packages. So it says first, download the proper version of RubyGems for your installation, and to find the version that we're using, we're going to run gem -- version. So let's do that, gem -- version. So we're using 2.2.2, okay? And then we can find downloads here under the releases section, and I'll open that up in a new tab. Now to figure out which one of these we need, I'm going to go back to this documentation, and it says that we're going to look for the RubyGems update file, and specifically this is the one that we need. And it just says to download that file in a directory that we can point to later. So let's go ahead and download RubyGems update.gem, and we can figure out where this is by showing this in a folder. And I downloaded it here in our local disk, so it was easy to remember where it is. And now if we go back to the instructions, it says now using your command prompt, do gem install local, and then we're going to point to that update location. So I split the screen so we can look at both of these at the same time. And I'm going to go back to the C directory, and I'll type this out. So gem install -- local, and then the name of the gem file, and I'll hit enter. All right, and next it says to run this update RubyGems with the no RI, no R doc. All right, and then it says now the gem version should report the new updated version. So let's try that. And sure enough, we get 2.2.3. And finally, it says that we can uninstall the RubyGems update gem. So let's run this. Okay, and now the whole reason why we did all this is that we wanted to install SASS. So let's run the SASS install command again and see if it works. All right, so that all looked good. And as we learned from our previous step when we installed this on a Mac, we could type SASS and then -v to see if it installed properly. And if we get a version, then we're solid. It's working fine.